What's up, people? Welcome to 1102 week 11. How exciting is this? We are just rolling. By the time you watch this, either you would have already turned in SA2 or getting it done. Getting it done. Okay. Which means that, like, you are 2/3 your way through this course. You have one more paper and that's it. Okay, so that should be a pretty good feeling. And if and then I think you only have to take one more literature course, and then you're done with your required English courses if you're not an English major. So way to go. I hope this next couple weeks are kind of is fun. If I can talk, I hope you enjoy it. What we're gonna be doing. Okay, just to remind you, listen, if we're looking at our schedule, uh, this week, okay, we're gonna be doing that. Okay, we're gonna start talking about SA3 in the beginning of November. Okay, so this gives you a few weeks to make sure you finish your uh, book. Okay, make sure you're reading your novel and you're getting it done, so that way you have an idea about what you're gonna write about. Okay, all right. So make sure we do that. Okay. Uh, I wanna work mostly just out of this slideshow, which I'll post the notes in the film analysis lesson folder. All right, so you'll be able to see it there. But I plan on mostly just working out of this, not really going to the Blackboard page today. All right, so look, welcome to the mini 2-week film analysis unit. Um, yeah, well, it's kind of 3 films. Actually, it's kind of 3 weeks, really. In this unit, we're gonna be focusing on film analysis. Okay. Now you're not writing a paper for this unit. So, like a lot of schools, a lot of other classes, they will write 4 papers total, and then drop one of the grades. Okay. Um, of those 4, and I don't really like that. I like writing having more time to write 3 papers, and then um, being able to improve your grade by, instead of dropping an entire essay grade, if you do better on the next essay, then that will improve your previous essay grade. Okay, so for this unit, we don't do a formal paper for the film analysis, which other classes do play analysis. Okay, but we're going to do film analysis. A little different. All right, but much the same though. And so instead we do a discussion post. Okay, so but I hope you enjoy it though. Let's see. All right, so the purpose of the film unit is that this. Look, what we do with these films will mirror what you do with your novel in essay 3. Okay, which is why I like to use this unit as sort of like a intro to essay 3 and what you'll be doing with the novel, because these are longer form um, um, mediums, film and novels. As a class, we're going to dissect 2 films to discuss their themes and symbolism, which is what you're essentially doing with your novel. We'll read 2 pieces of film analysis, one topical and one supportive, meaning one of the pieces of literature, one of the film analysis papers that we'll read is actually about Candyman, one of the films that we're going to watch. That I hope you watch for this unit. And then another piece of research that you're going to be reading is just about film. I mean, just about horror films in general. Okay, that we're going to apply what it talks about horror films in general to a horror film that you're going to choose to watch on your own. Okay, so while we're watching 2 films together, by the end of this little mini unit, you've watched 3 films. Okay, you will watch a film, preferably a horror film, unless like you're just like so terrified and you're 100% like just anti horror films, okay? But ideally, you'll watch a horror film and or a thriller. And right, I mean, it's Halloween season. Come on, people. That's the whole point of this. It's Halloween. But maybe you're not a Halloween practitioner, and you don't observe Halloween. Okay, and if so, email me. Um, but you're gonna watch a film on your own and write a discussion post on your interpretation of it using the some of the information that we take from one of the pieces of literature that we read. Okay, and all that similar. Now for your essay 3, you're gonna have to have more than 2. All right, I'm just for this one, I'm just like this film unit is kind of like an intro to the essay 3 unit, so on a smaller scale. Okay, so I mean, look, and this is applicable. The things we're doing with these films are applicable to what you're doing with your film, with your novel, because analysis is analysis, no matter the medium. Film analysis is much the same as literary analysis. You analyze literary elements like theme and symbolism, character development, those tone, irony, all those kind of things, conflict. And then you also analyze choices. The choices that the author makes is similar to the choices that a director makes in a film. Maybe the use of flashbacks, what is described or shown, what isn't, what are the resolutions, okay? So these are all things that are the same in analyzing a story, whether it is a filmed story or a shortened story, okay? Now, what we're about to get into is Moana. We're going to talk about Moana. Now, I want you to have watched Moana prior to this. You don't necessarily have to have rewatched it if you've already seen it in the past, okay? You don't have to have like watched it and then watch this lecture if you've already seen the film. If you've never seen Moana, I would like for you to stop this lecture and go find rent it online for $4 or go to Disney Plus or do like a like trial Disney Plus membership, watch Moana and then cancel your free membership, okay? Your free trial period. Whatever, but watch Moana or before viewing this lecture if you have never seen it. If you have seen Moana, you can still go back and watch it. That way it's really fresh in your mind prior to me going over some of these things. But you don't have to if you've really seen it. Okay. All right. You've been warned. You've been warned. This will be far more useful if you've seen the film. Okay. Okay. Before I talk about Moana, we understand that like there's a shift in Disney princesses, which is the precursor to Moana, to the development of Moana. All right. Now, I mean, and these women, these characters are a shift to Moana, but even before there was a major shift to them with the previous princesses. Okay, even before we get to Miranda and Elsa and Anna, prior to those princesses, we have the stay-at-home princesses. We have the Cinderellas and the Snow Whites and the Tangled princess. Okay, these women, these girls who are resigned to the home. They are there to like cook and clean and be your traditional damsels in distress who need to be saved. Then after that, we have the shift to these princesses, like Merida from Brave, who speaks to the more tomboy girl. Okay. And with both these films, Frozen and Brave, okay, both films challenge the idea that romantic love is the most important thing in a woman's life. Which is what's really, pushed in like The Little Mermaid and again in like Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, okay, which is all about finding love. Frozen was like, is kind of almost your anti-love, but still it's anti, the importance of romantic love. Both films stress the importance of familial bonds. That like family of knowing who you are is really, really, really important. Okay, and so then we have uh, Moana. Okay, um, now one thing prior to this also, like Brave got criticism because like um, it presented a strong warrior girl, but then also made her gave her kind of these like tomboy aspects, which kind of made other girls feel like, wait, so the only way I can be like strong and independent is if I'm also not as feminine and have to be a little bit more masculine. And so that makes, while that's inclusive for the girls who are more that way, it still perpetuates this idea that girls who are traditionally more feminine acting and looking, though can't also be strong and independent. And then also Brave centers on a lot of female on female conflict, where we have a Brave Merida versus her mother. Okay, so then we have Frozen, which is okay. So we have two female characters who have this more traditional feminine look. Okay, yet they're also strong and independent and fighters. Okay, but then it perpetuates female on female conflict, that like women are catty and that they have issues with each other. And so then we have Moana, which is addressing all those issues. And one of the most important things about Moana is that she's just not also a white character, okay? And that she isn't also a character of color played by a white actress. We have Moana, who is ethnic. She is dark skinned, a person of color, okay, a Pacific Islander. And then all of the actors, all the voice actors who play the Pacific Islander characters in Moana are also Pacific Islanders, at least of descent. All right. And so like her film pushes universal sisterhood. It's very pro women of all sorts, as we'll get to in a moment. Okay. All right. So as the film begins, we learn that Te Fiti is the mother goddess island who gives birth to other islands. She represents women and the feminine spirit. And then we are introduced to Maui, who's a demigod a male demigod male who enters deep into the island of Te Fiti to steal her power. Okay, and he deceives her. He transforms to different people. He deceives her. He tricks her to get deep down inside of her, and then using his hook, he steals the her heart. Okay, so symbolism here. Okay, Maui is this abusive male. His hook, his fish hook, is a phallic symbol representing a penis. Right? It's his tool that he uses to abuse her. This scene symbolizes misogyny, male dominance, and the patriarchy in all of its forms. In the home, in religion, maybe, workplace inequality, rape, sexual abuse, sexual misconduct, and everywhere else where men use their gender to have power and privilege over women. Okay, so then we are introduced to Taka. Taka is this powerful demon that attacks Maui, unbeknown to the audience. This is a spoiler, so if you haven't seen the film, you gotta see it. Taka is Te Fiti. Okay. After the Maui tricks Te Fiti and gets inside of her and abuses her. Okay, abuses her. She turns into Taka. Okay, this rage, angry demon. This represents the rage and trauma that overcomes women who experience all the forms of misogynistic oppression: sexual abuse, less pay, unequal familial expectations, degradation in the church, mansplaining, all those things. Okay, um, it fills women with this rage. All right, these feelings of oppression and misogyny and abuse. So then darkness starts to spread across the ocean to other islands, killing all the fish and corrupting the corrupt. Okay, misogyny is literally a stain on society and existence. It is abuse and oppression over half the population of people, and women represent the creation, the foundations of societies and life itself. And so this darkness is covering them. So then we have Moana. Okay, Moana. She represents, she symbolizes female empowerment. The conch, which calls to her, the conch is the yoni symbol, okay, which represents women. It's a symbolic symbol. Just like how the Maui's hook is a phallic symbol and it represents men. The conch is a symbol that represents women. Okay, much the same way as the phallic symbol. All right, yoni is Sanskrit for womb. All right, and so that's why it's unique to women, because women have those body parts, men don't. The ocean is personified as female in literature. The ocean, the sea change, ocean has always been a female symbol, which is interesting because like the earth is a female symbol and the ocean is a female symbol. And so if the earth made us, you know, our parents are essentially a lesbian couple. That's where we come from. Okay, the ocean and the earth, both females. And so the ocean, you know, calls to Moana. The ocean like calls her, guides her, gives her the conch, all those, guides her to Maui and to save the day, and to Te Fiti and all of that. And so this represents the unique ways women have to fight for respect for themselves. Hey, sorry, interruption. So, you know, this represents the unique ways women have to fight for respect for themselves and how they comfort and bond with other women. Okay, Moana is this like female fighter and support system. So the ending, okay, when Te Kā is coming, okay, Moana, through her female intuition, she realizes that Te Kā is Te Fiti. Which they're very unrecognizable at first, but Moana, again, you know, she senses this, she realizes this. And so because of that, she confronts her not with anger or rage or whatever, but with compassion. She confronts Te Kā with compassion and kindness and sympathy. She says, "They have stolen the heart from inside you. But this does not define you. This is not who you are. You know who you are." And so she connects with her. And she doesn't degrade her or demonize her or reproach her. Okay. And so then Te Kā lets Moana place her heart back in her. Moana puts the heart back into Te Kā. And so, you know, this is this theme of like women supporting women, women understanding what women are going through, and how sometimes like when we have been when we go through traumatic experiences or years and years of microaggressions and feeling like second-rate citizens, that this creates a lot of displaced anger and frustration. And sometimes we through projection we express that anger and that frustration through behaviors that are symptoms of these feelings. And so if you just address those behaviors, you don't really fix it. And so Moana is not addressing the behaviors of Taka. She is relating to Taka emotionally. And that is at the heart of all things, no pun intended. So then Te Fiti wakes back up and she breaks out of her shell of Taka. And she's her real person because she finally feels seen and loved and accepted and respected. So what can men do? Well, they need to acknowledge their bullshit and change their behavior. That's what Maui does. He apologizes. He works to try to help. Te Fiti forgives him. She's the bigger person, literally, and offers him a new hook since his was destroyed. The abusive use of his previous hook was destroyed. The old way of just taking advantage of her, of women, was destroyed. And she offers him this new hook with understanding that he needs to use it respectfully. And he needs to use it more with trying to defend and protect rather than to abuse. So men need to not use their sex or gender to oppress, ignore, control, or cause harm to women, both physically, emotionally, socially, sexually, financially, spiritually, etc., etc., etc. Okay. And then all will be right in the world again. Okay. So that is the themes and symbolism of Moana. Okay. Condensed. All right. That's not a paper's worth, but that is definitely a discussion post's worth. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about, where we're watching films and then pulling out symbolism and discussing their overall meanings. We're not doing every single scene. We are not breaking down all of that. Okay. Which you can. Okay. But we don't have room for that right now. Okay. So we're just doing basic overall premise. So this week, you're going to read the horror genre, mere entertainment or modern reality play. Okay. That's going to be in the film analysis lesson folder. You're going to read The Demon of Racial History, reading Candyman. It's long, so give yourself time. You're going to watch Candyman, the 1992 film, okay? Not the remake, but the original, okay? And you might have to rent it to view it. Here's where you can find it, okay? If you have Peacock subscription is free. I don't pay for mine. I signed up for it at one point. There's commercials, but it's like free. So I'm pretty sure, and I watched it on Peacock just recently. So I think you can watch it for free on Peacock with just some commercials. You can't fast forward through it. Redbox is $1.99. It's $2. $2. So if you have a debit card or a credit card, try to spare $2 to watch it. Okay. The Roku channel, Amazon Prime Video, it's on one of those like Showtime or something, which they offer a lot of free, like a free week. So you can sign up for a free week and watch it, and then cancel your subscription before it comes on, before it pays, it charges you. All right. Philo, I don't know what that is. I don't know if they have cheap subscriptions or the free with ads or whatever. Okay. But find it, watch it. Now, there's one more thing I'm going to give you that would be really good. If you watch it this week and you have time, I'm going to pull this up. Hold on one second. Okay. If you have time after reading the articles and watching Candyman and you're like really into it, okay, if you're really into it, you should listen to this podcast. It's from a show called Girls, Guts, and Giallo. This woman, Renee Bever, okay, she is Oh no, I'm sorry, not Renee Bever. The lady who runs this what is her name? What is her name? Anyways, this podcast is done by this woman who is a she does film analysis, and she does film analysis from like a feminist perspective, a queer perspective, and this is from a black perspective. And she has people come on and they dissect horror films piece by piece. So she and Renee, they do this deep dive into Candyman, and they do actually go through every single scene, and they talk about um, the symbolism and the themes and what it represents and what she's seen and how it builds on the character and they do a really great racial analysis of this film. Now, this podcast is mature in that it uses foul language. Okay, they curse in it. And it's really long. It's like 2.5. I mean, they go through everything about the film, and it's about 2.5 hours long. But like, I listened to it while like running, twice, two different, days, and it was fantastic. It was really good. I'm gonna put this link up in case you're gonna listen to it online, but you can also go to Apple Podcasts, and they're free on Apple Podcasts. They're free probably on, I don't know if they're on Spotify or not. Okay. Um, the podcast series, if you like it, the podcast series is Girls, Guts, and Giallo. Giallo is an Italian term for Italian. It's like noir films, Italian noir crime films. Okay, even though most of the films that they all that she analyzes are all horror films. Okay, so if you have time to listen to this, also, that'd be awesome. Okay, because it's really good. Um, I listen to it almost yearly since it's come out. It's an hour and 56 minutes. Is exactly how long it is. Okay, so the link to this will also be in the film analysis folder in lessons. Okay, if you can get all that this week, great. It might be a lot, might be too much for you. Okay, but if you can definitely, I mean, if anything at all, watch Candyman and listen to this. If you watch Candyman and you listen to this podcast, you don't really have to read the Candyman analysis research. Okay, I'm just kind of providing that for you just so you can kind of see it because it's kind of similar to what you'll be doing for essay 3. All right, but I mean, this analysis, listening to this podcast will be just as good, if not better, than I think she even references that article. That's where I got that article from, was because she talks about that article in this podcast. So if you listen to this podcast, then you don't even really need to read The Demon of Racial History, Reading Candyman. You can just listen to the podcast. Okay. All right. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Okay. But real fast, P.S. Do actually read the horror genre, Mere Entertainment, or Modern Morality Play, because it's like 1.5 pages. That one's super short. Okay. All right, y'all. Take it easy now. Bye.